welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Zone. I'm your co-host, Tom Spitalere, and Bob is back this week again. Bob, welcome back, and how's the weather out there? The weather was great last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, the weather today has been beautiful.
Last night, I think we had a mini hurricane or a twister come through parts of southern New Hampshire.
I did see that.
From what I saw today,
Yeah.
and parts of Massachusetts, too.
Microbursts.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah, Sandown got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that. That's why I called you this morning. Make sure you were all
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they got hit hard. But the Paranormal Zone is set up to bring people talk about people who are mediums, psychics, paranormal investigators, UFO, UAP investigators, and listen to everybody's point of view because everybody is different. This show gives everybody the power to speak and feel how they feel about the community as a whole in the UFO realm, paranormal realm, and anything that goes bump into the night. So, well, I want to get started. Just a quick announcement. This Saturday coming up at the Haunted Hilldale Cemetery in Haunted Haverhill, Massachusetts, Essex County Ghost Project will be back, leading an investigation through one of the most haunted sites in New England, Hilldale Cemetery. And we'll talk a little bit about that because actually one of our people that are in the room with us today was actually at the last Hilldale event, and we found a portal out back that was quite interesting. That's never been seen before. And Bob, we just had another very successful event that you ran this past weekend. So tell our guests what that was all about.
Yeah, we did really the first meeting/event for Skywatchers New Hampshire for the season we planned for. And kind of what we do is we really do both things, Tom. We do night sky watching. So if you're not into UFOs and UAPs, you don't have interest in that particular category, you can come out and bring a telescope and just identify some star, maybe see some things you haven't seen before, like close-up satellites. Starlink is usually pretty visual. If you have interest in UFOs and UAPs, then our next event will focus more on trying to identify UAPs and UFOs, which, interestingly enough, guys, UFO has transcended to mean aliens. And when you look at the definition of that, even UAP, it has nothing to do with aliens. It's unidentified flying objects. And as we talked with the group the other night, there is a lot of UFOs going around today. Satellites, Tom, Starlink, shooting stars, drones, it goes on and on. But that doesn't mean that they're from another planet. What this group, and they're very dedicated, and these guys and girls work so hard on this group. And by the way, I want to make a footnote here that they don't get paid for anything they do. So we don't charge for anything. If we do a fundraiser, we don't charge for that fundraiser. So it's all free. So these people are giving their time, like Melissa and Jessie that we have on this evening. They're part of that group, and they give their time willingly. So I appreciate that. But what we're really doing on that part of the event is to see if we can identify UFOs. There's no doubt in anybody's mind, I don't think, that UFO activity is picking up. UFO activity being a vehicle from a different planet. I think if you go back 20 years ago, most of you would agree that if you talked about UFOs, you could end up locked up over it. People criticized you, laughed at you. Today, it's in the news almost weekly. So there's no doubt the activity's picking up. There's no doubt in my mind, at least, guys, that we're gonna be visited very shortly, but as kind of a nation, a planet versus individuals. I think that they're making themselves well known, and it does appear in a lot of cases that the activity is picking up pretty quickly here. When we look at the drones over New Jersey and Washington 4 or 5 months ago, I don't think that had anything to do with aliens. I think that was a whole different situation, and it just got out of hand. But certainly, we have seen things that we can't identify as a satellite or a star or something. So it is picking up. So our next event, because the other night we didn't have a great start, and that's one of the things if you're going to do backyard night vision, you have to have a very clear sky, and you have to eliminate any ambient light. Ambient light will take away from a telescope, binoculars, or just your eyesight. The light just detracts from that. You don't get the vision you have to. So you have to get to a dark place. So right now we're tentatively looking at Hampton Beach. We'll get down to the beach about 7 o'clock. We'll set up telescopes, binoculars. You know, when it gets dark, we'll start to document what we're seeing. If you just like the night sky, it'll be a great opportunity to look at some stars, and you'll actually see some planets. So, anyways, that will be sometime in August.
All righty. Well, that's good. So today, though, we have Melissa and Jessie on. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right. So Melissa and Jessie are part of both. And they just recently got back from the place that, one of the places that started America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's Gettysburg. Oh, I'm sorry. Gettysburg. where our fight to free really picked up there. So,
yeah.
You had an interesting excursion to Gettysburg.
Very interesting, actually.
So what happened out in Gettysburg? Goodness, we just crank up
Oh,
the
geez, what didn't happen out in Gettysburg is a better question.
Okay, so what didn't happen?
I've never been in a place that had so much intelligent activity. I think that overwhelmed me a lot, for sure. Oh, geez, we caught, a few soldiers on the battlefield, and off of the side of a field, we got to investigate a private field hospital. I froze in fear. I've never felt energy like that in my life, and I froze, and that doesn't usually happen with me.
Well, that can happen to anybody. Let's face it. That place is loaded with spirits.
Loaded everywhere you turn.
I've never been out there to formally investigate it as a member of Essex County or any other team. But there's a but to this story. When I was a senior in high school, we had a band competition down in Virginia. And we went down there. The Methuen High School Ranger Marching Band took first place.
Nice.
We did very well in Virginia. That was my senior year. And, the bus company we had is not the same bus company that Methuen has today, so I could talk about it. Because this guy is, I think, retired to the heavens by now. Okay? But there was another owner of the bus company that Methuen had contracts with. It's the same location, same company, but the owner sold out after I graduated high school. Okay, so just so everybody knows, I happen to know the bus driver that took us down. And, of course, this was a band field trip for seniors in high school. So we had lights out at a certain time. Lights went out. A bunch of us went out towards the battlefield of Gettysburg.
Wow.
After the lights went out. Now, we had no cameras or anything. I had 35 millimeter trash cameras. I didn't really have anything for that. Because it was it was basically a last minute thing. It wasn't like, we'd been out there during the daytime as part of the trip. So I'm like, wonder what this place looked like cool at night. And the bus driver, who I know is no longer on this side of the realm, he's over to the next realm. He said, well, why don't we just go check it out? Get a couple of guys, friends of yours that you trust, and let's go check it out. So we did. It was ridiculous. Now, we heard a few things. We didn't stay long because we had to get back. But it's quite an interesting night over there. I really want to go out there on a night and investigate it. We've been so busy with the expansion, this, that, and the other thing. Maybe next year I'll get a call and try to get us a private
I would go back there in a heartbeat.
walk of Gettysburg, because that's all ran by the National Park Service. And
you're part of that?
No, I'm not part of it, but Essex County has their friends in the National Park Service.
Helps. So that definitely
we could find a way to do this. Just don't know how we're going to do this, but we will.
You got it.
Yeah. You know, I think before Jessie and Melissa tell their story, which is a great story, we talked about it the other night, but before we do that, just for our listeners that might not understand what you're about to hear, that a battlefield falls right into the protocols of the paranormal. They lost their life when they were young. They
Correct.
lost their life tragically, right? They had a purpose that they were trying to hold on to, and they had families they had to get home to. And what we see in the world of paranormal, when those 4 or 5 things enter into it, that a spirit tends to come back because of those 4 or 5 things. And they come back stronger than just a spirit that might talk to a medium. So when you go to Gettysburg, if you read about Gettysburg, and I think all of us had studied it somewhat, the amount of lives that were lost, the causes they were fighting for, and again, you have to remember that in some cases, it was brother against brother.
Correct.
Yes, it was.
And the interesting thing about that is that the families did that for one reason. So that one of their 2 sons would maybe survive, maybe. And if they both survived, at least one would come home on the winning side of the war.
And some of these families just believe differently because the way what they were seeing in real life too. And when you're at war, it's not just brother against brother, because we're talking about the American Civil War right before we get into this, but it's the 250th anniversary of Lexington and Concord. And let me make sure this is out there loud. The American Revolution was brother against brother too. We just don't talk about that in schools at all. But there were some families that were divided so heartedly it was sad.
That's correct. But I was getting to the point, Tom, that's why when you visit, and I've been to Gettysburg on at least 4 occasions. So when you visit Gettysburg, especially at night, the story you're about to hear is very true and very accurate. When we make our announcement in the next week or so, some of that in pictures that Jessie and Melissa have, we'll put on we'll put it out there on Facebook and on our website and so forth. So you'll get to see some of those pictures. But most people that visit Gettysburg have some experiences, whether it's shadow figures. I don't know if you guys, and don't tell us yet because it's part of the story, but you'll hear drum rolls, you'll hear cannon fire, you might hear screaming, you might actually see soldiers. I mean, it just goes on because of the devastation that happened in Gettysburg. It is just so active down there. But that's so in a lot of different venues, I think. So go ahead and tell your story.
Alrighty. So one of the last times I was on the podcast, we talked about past lives, right?
Yes.
And I talked about how I had, from the time I was 8 years old for a few months, had this dream consecutively for over a few months, and how I was a soldier in the war and died. So that's what fueled our trip to even go down there and, I guess, research, investigate, all of the above. I did a lot of meditating before we left. That would, and I made sure I shared it with my husband to make sure it would prove that we were on the right track of finding where I was. I got the name before I left, and when I Googled the name, part of the thing I talked about was that I was African American in that past life. And as soon as I Googled the name, it came up as the 84th Colored Infantry that died on the east side of the cemetery hill there, the battlefield. So I told my husband, I said, we're going to see 2 eagles. They're going to be sitting up on a perch. And we made sure we booked our apartment right by Cemetery Hill. And we're walking, and all of a sudden you look up, and there are 2 eagles to the entrance of the cemetery sitting there. And I had never looked at pictures of Gettysburg. I know nothing about it other than the battlefield. And for our listeners, too, it's not just a battlefield. I mean, it's the entire town and surrounding towns were either encampments or battlefields on both sides.
Right. It's not just one
entire
area.
Town.
Right.
Our apartment was haunted. Just about anywhere you went was haunted, was it?
Yeah, it was took over by Confederate soldiers.
Yep, the apartment we stayed in was taken over by Confederate soldiers for sharpshooting. And we had just gotten there after almost 10-hour drive. Jesse sits on the couch, and I watch something black go behind his head. And at the same time, he goes, "I just got touched." And I said, "I just saw it. It went right behind you." So that was the first thing. And then our cereal box, we brought our food, started going back, rocking back and forth, like not a little bit, a lot, without tipping over. I had our bedroom door closed on me the last day. Our son experienced things.
Yeah.
And we snuck in after hours to the battlefield, of course. And for about a half an hour, all you could hear was gunfire and cannon fire. And I actually got a recording of it on my phone. I was happy that it picked it up because it sounded so far away, but everything was shut down around there. You have to understand that. Like, the closest city is over an hour away. So it's not fireworks from the next town. Everything was blacked out. And I also drew a picture of greenery that we were going to see.
Yep.
And I had woken up the following day with a migraine. I think I was just overloaded. My energy got overloaded, and it was so bad I had to go back to sleep for a few
that
hours.
can happen, actually.
And Jesse went out investigating without me, and he found the tree where the African American troops, I guess a battalion, if you will, were, where they fought on the east side of the hill, and the tree right there was the leaves I drew him. And he brought them back to me and said, "Can you believe, look at this. This is what you drew." And so we went searching, and I found my tree I was buried under 150 years later. It's massive now.
Right, but which black regiment you're talking?
84th Colored Infantry.
Okay.
Yeah. Which they called them back in those days.
Right.
Yep.
So, Melissa, let me ask you and Jesse the same question. Do you think that you guys got much more activity than a normal person because you're such a great medium?
You know, that Jesse's sensitive too, and so are my boys, so I think that definitely helped, for sure. Yep. I can't imagine, though, if somebody went there looking, you're going to find something, for sure. It's at every turn. You can't escape it.
Oh, yeah. My wife and I were there years ago. And the very first time we were there, we made it a point to get out there at night, early night. It wasn't too late, 7:30ish. And we were just standing by the car. And my wife said to me, "Did you hear that thunder?" Mm-hmm. I said, I heard it, but I don't think it was thunder.
It was not. I thought it was thunder at first, too.
Yeah, and we actually stood there for a few minutes, and again, you could hear it, but you could tell the second time we heard it, it wasn't coming from the sky, it was coming from the field.
Absolutely.
And it was cannon fire is what we were hearing.
We heard both. We heard the cannon and some gunfire.
Gunfire, yeah. But go ahead with the story, yeah.
So that was all well and wonderful. I got to find, where I was. And a very strange, odd feeling. Like I felt at home there, and I felt like a circle had been completed, if that makes sense. I don't quite understand why or I mean, I do understand. I shouldn't say I don't. I do, because that's exactly what it was supposed to be. I was supposed to go down there and find that, and the guides were all happy that I went down there and found that, and all sorts of new things started happening once we got back home. The field hospital, that's where I froze. I couldn't, the energy there, I don't know if it was the pain of all the men who had amputations done. You know, they drilled the holes in the floor, through the limbs out the window, for the blood to drain. That's what they drilled the holes in the floor for. And I couldn't leave the kitchen. I couldn't leave the kitchen or the room where the amputations were done. I couldn't move. I don't know why. I was scared. I was terrified. So my son and I went outside, and the orbs were everywhere, like coming out of the air, and they were intelligent orbs. And I got those on my night vision as well, which is pretty exciting. I just wish my night vision had sound, because you could hear me say, "Oh, I don't think I was recording. Can you do that again?" And then you watch the orb, you know, reform and go right by the camera again. It was insane.
Right. You got to remember, a lot of these soldiers that fought in the Civil War, okay, not just at Gettysburg, all over the place. You had the Harvard boys, very well decorated regiment, and they fought at Gettysburg. They fought at every major battle they fought in. You had people like Paul Revere's grandson, Longfellow, the poet.
Yep.
So you had Paul Revere's grandson did die at Civil War, but Longfellow survived it, as we know. Oh, we would not have had all these poets.
We wouldn't have the poetry.
But you had a lot of intelligent people that were fighting for a cause.
Absolutely.
The cause of separation of church and state, the causes that originally fought the war. Okay?
Yep.
We were losing the war. That's the reason why they said, okay, we got to rearrange what we're doing, and we're going to make this the fight for the freedom of the slaves. The Civil War did not start over slavery.
No, it did
not. It ended over slavery.
It ended, exactly.
Because we were losing the war in the North, and Lincoln needed something to motivate the troops.
I think that's what a lot of people don't understand,
right,
too.
because that happened again during, what was the name of that war? Oh, World War II. Go out to Honolulu, Hawaii, and see what you're going to find out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know about Honolulu?
The evidence.
Oh, come on.
I know about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Pearl Harbor, which we all knew was going to happen.
Oh,
That's why the Atlantic Fleet moved. The brand new Atlantic Fleet that blew up the Pacific Fleet later on was moved out of Honolulu 2 days before the bombing.
Yeah,
that was you don't think that was not thought about. Yeah.
They left all those people.
Well, it's called, in war, it's called the innocents getting sacrificed for the greater good.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in every war. And then Gettysburg was in the Civil War was no different.
Oh, for sure.
And this is the first war that we could tell women definitely fought in too. We have one soldier buried at Hilldale Cemetery that's a female.
Really? I did not know.
Yeah, up on Soldiers Hill.
Interesting.
She's from Peabody, not from Havel, not from this area, but Peabody. Her brother got drafted, and I'm going to put this the nicest way possible. She wrapped herself up, cut her hair.
Yeah, to look like a man.
And then, she got shot in the upper chest area. When they went to go pull the bullet out, they went, uh-oh. What are these extra extremities here that, we don't normally see?
Exactly. I think my biggest fear, though, investigating there, knowing, because there's so much intelligent spirits, I was scared being from the North. They were not going to be very kind to me. And I did not experience that, which I was shocked.
Well, there were Northern troops and Southern troops at that.
I understand, but I thought any Confederates I encountered would not have been very nice, and that was not the case at all.
I run across that when I do the French Indian war sites around here, okay, because being Italian, being white, you would be the English side.
Mm-hmm.
You figure the Native Americans would rip me apart when I channel. No, they've been
very kind.
Very kind, even on private home investigations where I pick up Native American blood, because we've done quite a few homes throughout the region that had Native American blood on it spilled from either the war era prior to the war, when there were skirmishes. They've all been respectful.
I have to agree. Even the calling me ma'am.
Well, that's the proper thing to do with yourself.
I know, but I wasn't expecting it. I don't know what I was expecting, but
well, that's
it was
why.
pretty interesting.
That's what makes this field even more interesting. Yeah, Bob.
So, Melissa, so you really had two experiences, though, because you had a past life experience also,
I did.
right?
I did.
Which is a whole different dimension of just going to Gettysburg and seeing spirits and hearing things and so forth. You actually had a past life experience. You fought for the Confederate side.
I did.
And you were African American.
I was. I
Right.
found my
Tom,
sign up certificate.
Yeah, but therein lies the evidence that the Civil War was not begun because freeing the slaves.
Exactly.
No.
Because there were many African Americans who fought on the Confederate side.
They were forced to.
Right, but
They
they
were
still
forced
fought.
to. You're
Right.
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Well, you know,
But I think it's interesting. It's interesting that you had a past life experience here also.
It was that way. Like I said, I feel whole after that. Some part of me, it feels like
Yeah,
the
'cause you
circle
found the
is
rest of
completed.
yourself.
Yes.
you found yourself.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty amazing.
You actually found closure.
I did. Yeah.
The closure you
Right.
couldn't find because you died on a battlefield thousands of
Right.
miles. What was it,
I was
Louisiana?
from Louisiana. Yes.
Yeah. Many thousands of miles away.
Of course, signed up under my master's name. I was going in
Right.
place of him.
Right. Well, they did that in the
Master
Revolution.
/ father.
Yes, master /
Yeah.
father.
Well, they did that in the Revolutionary War
Yes.
too. I mean, slaves
Yeah,
were signed up.
yeah.
They'd leave their mark if they couldn't write, and it was usually under their master's order. Go in the stead of their
Yes.
master. That's
Yep.
what it was called.
Yeah.
And that happened
see,
even
what
the
we-
American Revolution too.
Yeah, what we don't know is what peace you brought to that dead soldier, because you completed the cycle.
You're absolutely right. I
Right.
haven't had
You-
any
you
funny
felt-
dreams.
Yeah, you felt closure.
I did.
What we really don't know is, did you give closure many, many years later to this poor individual that was killed?
I mean, it's the same
I think
spirit,
I did.
right?
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
say yes because technically we are the same soul.
Yeah.
There you go. Say, I think you did give them peace.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly they are resting much better today because you completed that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's important to do, no matter
Yeah.
is finish off
Yeah.
these cycles because,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes they never get finished, unluckily.
Right.
In your case, it was finished.
Which is so wild to even say out loud. I never, at 8 years old, did I imagine that journey, that consistent dream every night would lead me to this.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Now she wants to move
just
up
wild.
Now I want to move there because it feels like home there. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, it's home
Sure.
because it's the last resting. It's the last
The
thing,
whole area felt
right? It's
like
the
home.
last thing that the spirits, the gentleman saw that died.
Yeah.
That was the last. He don't remember and because he was a slave,
Mm-hmm.
he probably doesn't want to remember Louisiana
Probably not.
Right.
because
right.
they were not treated well at all down there.
Mm-mm.
So they don't want to remember
Yeah.
that. So he wants to remember something that was. And driving the Northerners back at Gettysburg was a happy moment for him until
Until it wasn't.
a cannon musket shot or cannon blast or
Three of
whatever
them.
it was.
3 shots to the back.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
dropped him
Yeah.
and killed him,
Yeah.
and that was his
That
life.
was it.
But at least he died fighting for something.
He
It
did.
gave
Correct.
him purpose. So that's his final resting place, the purpose. Because I
Right.
doubt they moved.
Right.
I know in the North they tried to bring soldiers home sometimes, We have soldiers at Hilldale Cemetery that never came home. They died out at sea. They were buried at sea.
Yes.
They have names on their stones, the regiments they were in, and all that other stuff.
Gotcha.
That's every
Yeah,
cemetery.
just a monument.
Just a monument.
Gotcha.
But a lot of the troops did make it home later on. But I doubt the
Right.
black troops made it back home
Sure.
to the plantation.
It's the truth.
We have no proof of that either, whether they did or didn't. But my background in history and all the research I've done on the Civil War would lead me to believe, unless there was a miracle somewhere, that he was well respected by somebody that survived the war and they wanted to bring him back south and give him a proper
Right.
burial. Most likely he's
Yeah.
buried.
No, I know where. Yeah, I know exactly where I'm at
Right.
for sure.
Yeah. He's in
Yeah.
Right on the-
Gettysburg.
right on the battlefield there.
Yeah.
Right.
Right underneath
Right.
that tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jesse, you also had an experience off the battlefield, correct?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I mean at the field hospital, I encountered a little girl's spirit up in the attic that was taking place. She actually took pictures of herself on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they came out super clear.
Very clear.
So did she die there, or was this one that was just scared there in her spirit?
So she was up in the attic. I brought her up a doll, and because no one else wanted to go up there with me, they were all kind of creeped out. So I went up there. Now
So
did
who
some
else was
talking.
with you? Just the family, right?
Yeah, just me, my wife,
And Jen
my kid, and another investigator that we
from down
paid
there.
to do this.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, she took a couple pictures of herself and talked to me on the spirit box a little bit. She actually came back home with us and saw Melissa and talked to Melissa a little
She
bit.
did.
And she told Melissa not to be scared. Next time she comes down, she'd like to see her up there.
Mhm.
She was special needs. That's why she was up in the attic. You know, back then
Yeah.
they used to keep all the kids in, with
Yeah, so
problems
the
in
kid-
the attics.
Yeah, the kid died in the attic,
Yeah.
probably.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. So when you say she came home with you back to New Hampshire,
Yeah.
Yes.
wow.
I have a picture of her in my house.
So she actually attached herself and came back to you here. I find that intriguing because, Tom, that, drives to spirits can be in multiple places
Yes.
at multiple times.
Yes.
Yes,
they
that
can.
is correct. Yes, they can.
I mean, it wasn't
Does that make
residual.
sense?
It wasn't anything residual.
No.
You could
No.
That's
tell.
an intelligent. Intelligence are the only ones that attach.
Absolutely.
Residuals
Well, that's what I'm
usually
saying.
don't. Yeah.
Through intelligence.
Yeah.
Just so our listeners understand how that happens. I mean, it's intriguing
Yeah.
to think that.
The best way,
By the way,
Bob, the best way to explain it would be intelligence you could carry a conversation with. Residual is
Right.
like getting a recorder and saying, good morning, and then hit the rewind button, hit play. Oh, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much a
Yeah.
residual. It's there. It don't even know it's there.
and Melissa, being a top-rated medium like you are, then that makes sense to you because you can reach out to many spirits regardless of where they are.
Oh, absolutely. And I was
Right.
even before we even started driving down, the energy changed in our home, and my husband's like, the dogs are acting weird. And I said, I know, I'm getting visited by spirits in Gettysburg already. And
Already.
yes, before we even left.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I think what we have to do, I think that's the kind of Ghost Project has to put a trip together
I agree.
Yeah.
I would
where
love that.
where we go down for like 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
with the whole team and film it all.
That would be great.
Yeah. Bring the cameras and everything else.
I would go back there in a heartbeat.
We were planning on going back next fall.
Yeah.
that may be a good time to go.
I'm not done exploring there. There's just so much more. And because we went so close to 4th of July, there was a lot of tourists.
Well,
already.
next year would not be a
So-
good time to go. May, June, July, and August, not just because of the heat.
The heat was insane down
It's
there.
200. It's the 250th anniversary of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
An anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. So everybody who wants to go for it's going to be a mob scene
It's going to
down
be
there.
a mob.
Just like next year's Lexington and Concord. It was 250 this year for Lexington, and it was a mob scene. But next year being 250 for the country, Lexington and Concord's going to be a mob scene on April 19th.
Yeah.
That's one of the days you don't want to go down, to do any of this stuff.
Is there an old lady that used to? Does she like this place?
Yes, there's a
an
spirit in this
elderly woman
building.
here, and she wants to be part of this podcast.
Yeah, there's.
My whole left side keeps going, standing up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing orbs flying around.
Well, we
Really?
know the building's haunted. We've already
Okay.
investigated this building.
Have you?
Yeah.
See, now I have not. I don't know anything about this building.
There's a young girl in the basement, and there's stuff floating around this building.
No, this is, definitely an elderly woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I've sensed
So
her
you
a couple
think-
times here and there.
You think the little girl is making contact with you right now?
No, it's something else in here right now.
There's an elderly lady in the room with us. I actually sensed her coming through the door. I didn't say
you?
anything.
And
yeah.
but the whole time, my left side is standing up, just my left side, all goosebumps, and the hair was going up. Yep. And I watched the orb go right between us and stop right here.
So you're like a conduit.
I must be, apparently. I don't
Well,
fully understand what I am yet either. I just know I can feel, see, and hear.
yeah. So you're a conduit. They inherently understand that they can make contact with you,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be accepted into that realm.
Absolutely.
This one's afraid to make contact,
But
Bob.
with boundaries.
Bob,
Yeah, with yeah,
Bob, this one's afraid to make contact.
really.
Yeah. I figured with two people in the room, it would be, I could try to channel it and see what we could get, but
No.
she doesn't want to be channeled.
No, she wants her own microphone.
Yeah. I mean, you can speak into the mics if you want. I don't care.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we could try a little sidebar of this podcast tonight, and if you had a microphone, maybe you hook it up and see if we get anything on it.
Well, I mean, we got two mics live right now for the show,
Okay.
and that's all I
Can
can
we
do
put a
right now.
third?
I can't do a third. I mean, we can run our
Okay.
phones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they could, I mean, if we have something there right now and Melissa is kind of a conduit to it, they could actually use any one of the mics that we're using right now.
Right, because they're basically free. I mean, you're on you're on one line. You're out. You mean we bring you in via phone, and then
Yeah.
Melissa's using the other one, and I'm just blasting my voice to make sure that we're loud enough.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's continue the conversation and see what we get.
Yeah, let's do that. Jessie, do you have your ghost box with you?
I'm putting it on right now.
Ah, there you go. Because the ghost box might come up with something too.
Now, everybody listening in the background, the new person that bought the building, his kids are here, so we might hear.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
It may not be paranormal, as you heard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good disclosure right there. But let's continue. So tell me the experiences that you've had, both of you, in Gettysburg. Have you ever had anything like that other places?
Key West.
Key West?
Key West.
Was
Yeah.
it Jimmy Buffett?
The Isle of Bones. That's what it.
Yeah,
The
it's
Native
actually
American.
like Key West, I
Yeah,
think, is
the
the real
Native
name.
American translation is the Isle of Bones, where the Native Americans, basically the it's built on bones of Native Americans fighting each other. That was pretty intense, but that was before I guess I fully understood that I am a medium and it's okay. And I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
I was hearing my name called. Geez, 6 a.m. I thought my brother-in-law said my name. I turn around, nobody's there, everybody's still sleeping, but it was his voice that said my name. Things went missing in the house, closing and opening of doors.
When we went to go leave,
Mm-hmm.
we asked the person that was the caretaker of the house if it was haunted, and he did tell us that it was part of a funeral home.
The property used to be part of the funeral home of the property behind us where he lived.
Wow.
And he said, we don't talk about it because then things will amp up again. And he just got things calmed down.
Yeah, sure he did.
No, he didn't. He didn't calm anything down because I felt it watching me.
Unless they brought in St. Petersburg Paranormal Group, the only real group in Florida that knows what they're doing, then I highly doubt, that things get calmed down.
Oh, he whatever spirit it was,
It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't
It
good.
was a mimic. I know that's something out of my knowledge. I don't know how to deal with that or
that
type of energy.
hiding things constantly on us, and my oldest was only 2 years old, and his diaper bag went missing the day we got there, and the day we went to go leave is in the middle of the floor.
Wow.
The diaper bag.
Yes, the diaper bag. Now, mind you, we were in a pool house that was it was a square, a literal square.
20 by 20 square.
You couldn't hide anything anywhere. There was nowhere to hide it, and it went missing until we left. We were going to leave, and there it was
In the middle of the floor.
It just showed up.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Presto, hi, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Well, it's not cool if you had to look for a diaper right away.
Well, that's the thing is we had to run out right away and get diapers.
Yeah, if you have a 2-year-old.
He was only one. He was only one. Honey.
Wonderful.
Was the only one?
Yeah.
He had just turned one the month before.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be cool. No.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the keys disappeared for a while, it would be even less cooler. Than
Yeah, and the people in the main house said the doors were opening and closing all night on their own. You could hear it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Just
whenever you go somewhere, and this is a great travel tip for anybody traveling. I've done a lot of traveling, mostly in Maine and New Hampshire, because I have this rule I live by. I won't go anywhere till I've traveled all the roads of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Massachusetts. Then I might go somewhere, and probably like Gettysburg. But we'll try to get a trip out to Gettysburg or somewhere out that way.
It was amazing.
But wherever you go along these old truck routes, Route 1, Route 1A up north, Route 16, the Spalding Turnpike, there's always a chance of finding a... In fact, when we did the 3rd and 4th and 5th Parafest up in Maine, we stayed at the same hotel a couple of years in a row. And let me tell you, hey...
A blue light just went on there.
Yeah. You sure it wasn't my headpiece?
No, it was a square.
We just had another blue light show up inside the studio. But the girl asked us when we were checking out that morning, did you see the ghost? Because they saw our jackets. We had the TV turn on that night and a few other things, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I believe
And
you.
that's a little motel in Maine and Kittery, not that far up the road.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere near a battlefield. I mean, there might have been some French Indian war fights in that area, but nothing like Gettysburg or Antietam or, where thousands of people
I didn't even get to
died.
explore Antietam. I'd like to.
Yeah, we drove by it.
We drove, through it and by it. I would like to get out there too.
That's quite, because there were a lot of Massachusetts people that died at Antietam too.
Mm-hmm.
That was another one of the Harvard boys.
Really?
I believe it was Antietam, but don't quote me. If my memory serves me right, that's where Paul Revere's grandson died.
Okay. A lot died there, wasn't it? Something like 30,000
Yeah.
or something.
33,000.
Yeah.
32,000.
That was a very ugly. That was the
It was
bloodiest,
bad.
single bloodiest battlefield. A guy from Havel, Samuel Clement. They named the Clement Farm Stand
Mhm.
the VFW Legion Post. Is it Legion? Yeah, Legion. I get them all confused. Legion Post up off of 125 in Havel's named after him. So I mean, and we have a portrait of him at the Buttonwoods Museum and his sword.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Jesse, let me ask you a question. As a sensitive, and I know you are, did you experience anything in Gettysburg that Melissa didn't experience?
I mean, I felt things, but that's pretty much it. You know, I could feel the spirits. I don't really
He
see.
feels.
I know what general area they're in, and that's
Yeah.
it. That's why, I'll take pictures and I'll have things in the pictures. You know what I mean? I can't see them. I know something over here.
So let's take a picture. I'm picking up something there. Click.
That's
Well,
exactly
that's what
he
happened
does.
at the train station
Yes.
with the lady.
The lady I got on he
I-
said over there, take the
Yeah.
picture right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
He told me to.
So, as a sensitive, did you feel any sorrow, any pain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that field hospital was chaotic.
It was very chaotic.
It was like the
And
whole
you felt
time, all
that?
my, we were there, an hour and a half? 2
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
We were there till midnight.
Well, just imagine what went on in those field hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
First, they
Oh, my God.
amputated arms, feet, legs,
Exactly.
and they didn't have the best procedures to knock you out.
No, they
You know
had
what they
nothing.
used? You know what they used?
Alcohol.
Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
that field hospital was literally on the battlefield too.
It's right on
Right.
the
It's
battlefield.
literally
Oh, that one. Okay.
It's at
right.
the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at Cope's Charge.
Yeah.
It was that
Yeah.
part of the battlefield
Mm-hmm.
is where that field hospital is. Literally, the fence for the national park is like 4 feet off the house. So that house has been abandoned. Don't have any electricity or anything in it.
Yep.
So it's been abandoned since then. So yeah, there's.
Wow.
I think they said the last time somebody lived there was like the 70s or 60s, and it's just too active.
Really?
They can't get anyone to stay there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, that place was crazy. I felt chaotic there. That's pretty much
Yeah.
the rest. The rest wasn't. I didn't feel a ton. I know that
Yeah.
we had a resident spirit in our house,
Mhm.
the Confederate soldier Charlie.
Mhm.
Charles
Charles.
was his name, and he kind of stayed in the detached garage, and you could feel he would visit Melissa at night, and I mean we showed you pictures of him. We got a good one of
Right.
him, and when you went in the garage in a certain corner,
You could feel him.
you could feel the sorrow.
Really.
And he still thought he was fighting a war.
He did, because I told him I could help him cross over, and he said, no, I can't leave my men here.
Wow. He was still connected.
Yeah,
to
'cause
the
there's-
battle.
Oh, for
Right.
sure.
They're still
For
living
sure.
in that era.
Right. Right. In that loop. Yeah. Wow. That's it's an unbelievable story. It's an unbelievable area to be in. I mean, if you're into the paranormal, it's I don't know anybody that's gone to Gettysburg and stayed for more than 2 or 3 days that didn't have some experience, not as in depth as you two have had. Like I say, I've had a lot of experiences the 4 times I've gone down there, but I have friends that went down there that don't believe in the paranormal, that would tell you that they heard screams they couldn't explain, or they heard drum rolls they couldn't explain.
For sure. I
which
don't
is-
think there's
which
a
attests
resident
to
there, huh? I don't think there's a resident that lives in Gettysburg that does not believe in paranormal because
Right.
they've seen or witnessed something.
Something, yeah.
Mhm.
Imagine what the park rangers stories they have to tell.
I'd like to know because we snuck into the battlefield at like 10:30, right? I mean, we didn't go out into the battlefield because the ground is very hilly. There's boulders everywhere.
We stayed on the road.
We stayed on the road, but we found
Right.
out afterwards that the park people will watch you on infrared camera, and that's how they bust you on the battlefield. So I imagine that they got some pretty cool shots on infrared.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just imagine if they're monitoring that at night, what they must be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has to be unbelievable, and yet it's never been released.
That would be interesting to have that released. We got one during the day too, down on the battlefield. Not as clear as yes, not as clear as the ones at night, but no doubt he's there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there when we were looking.
No, he was not. It was not there when we were looking.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's a great area. We definitely got to plan a trip down there.
I would love that.
Yeah. The other thing that I've been thinking about sitting here, Tom, is that we've got to do another event, Sleeping with the Dead.
Yes.
Where we get a haunted hotel and a bunch of us check in and stay there for 2 days.
Yes.
Especially around the 250th anniversary.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes.
I'm sure you got to book that now.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I haven't told anybody this because I don't know how it's going to work out, but I have ordered a book that takes us through the American Revolution, not so much the story, but the battlefields in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Hotels that have been, used by both sides, and taverns and pubs that still exist that was used by both sides. So I'm thinking that I might put together a road trip, even though it may be just a day trip, I don't know, where we as a team, Tom, go visit, let's say 2 or 3 battlefields like Gettysburg.
I would love that.
And we do a podcast from there, the whole team.
We could. That sounds like a great idea. And we don't even have to we can even stop off at some of the World War I sites that took place in the 16th. Oh, I'm sorry. French Indian War sites to me, which is World War I. You've heard me talk about this a gazillion times, Bob. So that's not the new breaking for you, but some of the French Indian War sites, which some people actually call World War I.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think they call it World War I? It's not revision history either. Just real quick, Bob, let me just explain this again. Okay, so the French Indian War was the French and us the English. Here in America, the Spaniards were trying to take over, New Mexico and California. Right. During the second half, so that's the King William's War, which is all part of the same era, the Dutch are blowing up New York Harbor.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because they want Canada. They don't want anything to do with us. They just need New York to get through, to get into Canada.
So would it push the French into Canada?
No, they wanted Canada.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Is that how the French ended up there?
Well, and then you had France and England were fighting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
there was a lot going on.
And the only other country outside of Canada to invade us, this country almost did, was who? Oh,
Russia.
Nope. Well, they came close, but they weren't here.
They came close.
Here's a great World War II newspaper. Aliens on the Beach. Down in Cape Cod Town. Now, for our great listeners, I don't mean the little green guys in the sky that we talk about, Bob. This kid, during World War I, World War II, you're not allowed to go out at night. Remember that? Well, this kid got sick and tired of sitting at home. It was a warm summer night, and he stuck out. The Cape did not have many police officers back then, probably nothing at that point. And he heard some strange voices on the beach. So he ran home and told Dad they were aliens.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Dad got a couple people together with a
little lynch mob.
Yeah, type of deal. And they brought some weapons with them to protect themselves from the aliens. Well, they shot one of the aliens.
Oh, no.
was a German soldier.
Oh, wow! That was my second.
So
guess.
Germany during
German
the
soldiers.
French-Indian War, which was a 30-year war, not 30 years complete in this country and beyond. And that's why it's called the 7, 9, 10, whatever country
right.
you're in. Germany was fighting for their first unification. So we got Germany, we got England and France here in what is the U.S. We got the Spaniards, we got the Dutch, we got the Canadians, and we got France and England. And of course you got so I mean, what's that consist of?
That's funny because
You might as well
that's all
consist
my
of
DNA right there.
You might as
French,
you might as well
Dutch.
you might as well consist of that as a world war.
Yeah.
That's a world war.
Just wasn't titled
Okay,
that.
so a little nostalgia here. I think our two guests are too young to even know about this, but Tom, I'll ask you, what movie, way back when, I mean, I'm going back maybe 40 years, what movie was that event copied? The event you just explained.
Oh, the French-Indian War? Oh.
Well, the Russian soldiers on the beach.
Russian soldiers on a beach.
German?
Germans. Yeah, Germans. Whoever that kid heard on the beach.
German. I'm not sure of that movie. What movie is that?
All right, you ready? The Mouse That Roared.
That one I didn't know.
Okay, you can Google it.
Never
It was
heard
about-
of that one.
Yeah,
Jesse
it was
knew
about-
that one.
No,
I'm just kidding. Nobody in the room, nobody had got it.
No.
well, you go Google that, and if you can get it, it's a movie about it's a comedy, but it was a movie based on these Russians leave Russia, they get lost, they don't know where they are, and they land on Cape Cod, and they come up with a plan to be captured because the United States then takes care of you and pays for your country. So it starts with a young boy is out at night, he hears voices on the beach, and that's how the whole movie starts.
Interesting.
So it had to be off of
It
that
has to be.
example you were giving.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
likely. Yeah, because I mean, that would have been a pretty cool article. Aliens on the beach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're not
Yeah,
really.
the
I mean,
most
to a
of it.
little kid, it's now we
They're
call it foreign language.
Exactly.
But back then,
Yeah, yeah.
it's alien-like.
Interesting.
So,
Well, I mean, really, after all said and done, they were aliens.
yeah, just a different type of little green guys from.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just from across the ocean that stuck over here on a German.
They were just
U-boat on
illegal
it.
aliens. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Illegal aliens.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. So, I mean,
All right. So,
there's a lot of great sites, and along the way, we could stop off and talk to the spirits in the cemeteries that fought in these
so
wars.
here's a challenge to our listeners. We're going to put this trip together, and we're going to do it before the summer ends. Okay, so it's good weather. So anybody that would like to join this caravan, and again, we may stay over someplace. I'm not sure we won't, but let's do this. Any listener that wants to go with us, send me an email at paranormalnh@yahoo.com. Just tell me that you're interested in joining our caravan to hit 2 or 3 or 4 battlefields. And depending on the amount of people we get, our team, Essex County Ghost Project, will put a plan together to get down and hit Massachusetts by this guide that I've ordered. Supposedly tells you the whole route. What to
Okay.
see, like Bunker Hill, for example, that type of thing. But as you get out into the battlefields, I have a suspicion we're going to see battlefields similar to Gettysburg that we don't even know exist.
That you're probably right.
Well, I did do the Lexington and Concord Bridge on a Tom Live show, and that was quite active.
Was it?
Yeah.
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 The
Yeah.
battlefields of Lexington and Concord. And I imagine if we stopped off at the Johnny Russell house,
Yeah.
it was one of the last ones killed on April 19th. And that's a museum. They're not going to allow you to walk through the ghost hunting, but I mean, they're not going to stop you from taking pictures from a road either.
Right.
The
Yeah,
Johnny
exactly.
Russell house or any of those houses down there off of Route 2, you're going to get something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was just a very bloody battle, as in one journal reported, on the way back to Lexington and Concord, they stocked lobster backs up all over the side of the road.
Wow.
Lobster back meaning the British.
Yeah.
Stacked them.
Yeah, that's what one of the journals said. They stocked the lobster backs on the side of the road.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Well, you know, the thing about this trip is that you don't have to be interested in the paranormal.
It would be a history
right?
tour too. Yeah, just like the Hilldale Cemetery ghost hunts, they're history tours and the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you're not interested in the paranormal, but you really are interested in the American Revolution, which, you know, is right here in Concord, Lexington, in that area, you can come along just for the history, because Tom will volunteer to be our historian on that trip, right?
Yeah,
Tom?
why not?
Watertown. He worked in Watertown for quite some time and took us down there, and that cemetery was extremely active.
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
right
there
where
you
the high
go.
school is.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stations in the cemetery that say this was the cornerstone for this building and this meeting house, and
Yeah.
Well, the old cemeteries, that's where they built the meeting houses. Then they kept moving them because they needed more room to bury people.
mm-hmm.
And then they finally said,
Right.
time to get the meeting houses out of cemeteries and let's go put it in the center of town. But that's, I mean, Havel, Pawtucket Burial Ground's the same way. The Methuen Cemetery up on Daddy Fry's Hill's the same way. The Salem Meeting House, they moved it once or twice where it is today. The Salem, New Hampshire Meeting House, I'm talking. Sandown, Sandown, I don't think they moved because the graveyard's not there. So that was a little different in Sandown, but a lot of the earlier colonial towns, that's what happened.
Moved a lot. Yes, it did.
Yeah. Well, I'll start working on that tomorrow.
All right. Well, Bob, we're coming to the end of a great show again.
Yeah, this has been fun.
It was. So
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Jessie and Melissa, for coming up.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. I want to remind everybody that this Saturday night we'll be at the most haunted cemetery in New England, if not beyond, Hilldale Cemetery. And we'll talk about this next time, but I know Jessie got a few things the last time we were there. It was quite an interesting night. We're hoping for another great night. That's this Saturday night. Gates will open at 7:45-ish, and we'll start around 8:30. All right? All right, Bob.
Sounds
Thanks
good.
for tuning in, and we'll see everybody
Good night,
soon.
all.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody. And I'll see you at the paranormal. I'm heading back to my crypt. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
We're-